Hey everyone, my name's Walter, and we're back here with another story from Reddit. Best of Redditor Updates is a place that posts stories that have updates, so we don't have to worry about what happened as much, hopefully. Well, let's get started with Stories from Reddit, or whatever I call the video. It's kind of up in the air at this point. This story seems like it should fit in with the regular content though. A story about the friend zone. How should I handle this situation? A male friend is trashing my boyfriend behind my back. And there is a trigger warning for sexual harassment, verbal abuse, misogyny, and incel. The original post is from Relationship Advice. I, 23 female, started dating my boyfriend, 27 male, a little over a month ago. I've known him for over a year. He's my friend Angela's older brother. I first met him last year at a party Angela was having. I had met Angela in high school, but not her brother, because he was serving in the Navy when I first met her. Well, I can admit I was immediately interested in him the day we met. I could go into details as to why, but let's just say I thought from the first meeting that he was pretty great. We ran into each other from time to time over the last year, and finally we both admitted that we were attracted to each other. We've been dating ever since. Recently I changed my profile pic in my social media to one of the two of us. A male friend of mine recently asked me if I was dating Angela's loser brother. I got angry with him and let him know I didn't appreciate his comment. My boyfriend is not a loser. In fact, he has a good paying job and owns his own house. Now I hear from a mutual friend that this guy was trashing my boyfriend to her, saying he doesn't see what I see in him and that he's a loser. How should I approach this situation? The friend of mine is a guy I've known since we were in high school. I feel like I need to say something to him. He's wrong to be talking about my boyfriend the way he is. Should I call him out on it? I wouldn't actually be sure about this one, just given the original post, but it does turn out to be that kind of situation. Your friend is jealous because he missed his chance with you, hoping a smear campaign will drive a wedge between you and your boyfriend. He's been interested in you since high school, lol. Okay, so 2 days later. I talked to a mutual friend of ours named Teddy, and he confirmed that this guy, Eric, has always had a thing for me. I never knew. He never said anything, and even if he had, I was never into him in that way. Teddy said Eric was really jealous that I'd started dating my boyfriend. I finally worked up the nerve to call Eric and tell him I knew what he was saying about my boyfriend and that I didn't appreciate it. He went on a pretty unhinged rant about how unfair it is that a guy like him can get a girl and he can't. To be honest, it was kind of sad. Not sad in a way that I felt sorry for him, sad as in pathetic. He built this whole non-existent thing up between us in his head, and now he's angry that it's not real. I just politely asked him to please stop talking about my boyfriend, since he really doesn't know him at all. Again, he kind of went into this self-pitying rant that was really off-putting, and I told him that we were friends, and that's all we'd ever be. He told me there is no such thing as a guy who just wants to be friends with a girl. So I asked him if he had only been friends with me because he thought I might fuck him someday. He pretty much said that was the only reason. At that point, I ended the conversation and hung up. I'm really disappointed, because I've known this guy since I was 16, and he'd always been a part of my friend group. I'm sorry. It sounds like you got a peek behind the curtain, and it wasn't pretty. Kind of scary, but also it got me angry. He doesn't even know my boyfriend, but he's got it in his head that he's not worthy of dating me, and he's not a good person. Has nothing about your boyfriend. He's just a jealous fuckboy. Please be sure to tell your boyfriend and warn your friend group. This guy might pull a weird-ass stunt and make you out to be a bad person, just to get pity or make himself look better. I'm sorry he's a shitty person. And yes, people can be friends with others without hoping for sexual rewards. Sounds like he was never a friend, and you will be better off. I will talk with my boyfriend about it when I see him tomorrow. He's been on a camping trip with his brother and some friends of theirs this week. This whole thing is so odd. One good thing about my friend group is that my boyfriend's sister is also one of my best friends, and I don't think any of them will buy into anything he tries to sell them about either of us. I haven't actually read ahead here, but we're not near the end yet, so something must happen. A few days later. I had to wait until after work to talk to my boyfriend about this situation. He was returning from a camping trip today, and was driving all morning to get home. After work, I went over to his place to see him. He seemed pretty tired from his long drive. And to be honest, I was just happy to see him, since I hadn't seen him since Saturday. So for a while, we just talked about his trip and my week at work, and made out a bit. Like I said, we hadn't seen each other since Saturday. Finally, I told him about this situation with this guy Eric. I told him about what he had been saying and our phone conversation. My boyfriend's only response was, "Who?" He had no idea who Eric even is. He knows he's a friend of mine and his sister, but that's about it. He said much of the same stuff the commenters on here did. That this guy is jealous, and it's strange that he seems obsessed with me. He's not going to do something dumb like beat him up for talking shit, but he did say if Eric started talking shit about me, there might be a problem. I also spoke to my best friend, who is my boyfriend's sister, and she's pretty much done with Eric too, because of what he was saying about her brother. As far as the rest of our friends, I'm not going to encourage them to stop being his friend. That's their call and not mine. But from now on, I am certainly not going to go to any get-togethers where he is. I have blocked him on all my social media and blocked his phone number too. Just be careful. I feel like Eric is totally going to be a future stalker. I'm going to try to avoid him as much as I can for sure. I'm also going to have to talk to mutual friends about what happened. I want to let them know that I don't want him digging for info on me through them. And finally, a few weeks later, the OP would post to Reddit off my chest, complaining about the situation. I am sick of guys who pretend to be your friend because they think it'll lead to sex. Since I started dating my current boyfriend, I've lost 2 friends who have not been able to deal with the fact that I didn't pick one of them to date. One guy, Eric, was really angry and started to trash talk about my boyfriend. I confronted him over it and we had a huge argument. So he sent me a series of nasty messages over Facebook. I responded in kind because he pissed me off so badly. Now another friend, Teddy, is telling me it's my fault because I should have given Eric a chance. He said Eric put his time in with me and I should have at least gone on one date. I told him I never wanted to date Eric in the first place. He said again that I should have at least given him a chance. This pissed me off all over again, and I angrily told him, women are not amusement park rides where you get a chance to ride as long as you wait long enough. So after getting my heart broken last year, I finally started dating a guy who makes me happy, and 2 friends have decided that I did something awful. I told Teddy that they both need to grow the fuck up. If all you want to do is bang a chick, make it clear up front. Don't pretend you're their buddy. At least it'll prevent them from wasting their time with a fake friend, and you won't have to waste your time on a woman who's not into you that way. Thinking putting in time as a friend means you should get a relationship is really divorced from any kind of logic. I dated one of these guys. We were best friends, and then he professed his love and basically guilted me into giving him a chance. It ended with him being so suffocating and overbearing that I didn't even want to be his friend anymore. I was so happy to break up with him. Yeah, I think that's likely to happen when these guys get a chance. I do find it funny that the OP is so offended for her boyfriend when he's not even important here. He could be anyone really, just had to be dating her. He put in the work, but the work he put in was pretending to be her friend for several years, never admitting his feelings for her, then throwing a tantrum when she gets a boyfriend. Get fucking real. I've had more than a few guy friends who have pulled this or gone MIA when I've been in a relationship. It hurts to realize they weren't really friends, but they had a different end goal in mind. Yeah, I really like this girl, but I'm not going to tell her or ask her out. Now she's dating someone and it's not me. But I put in my time acting like I'm her friend. This isn't fair. This is some effed up twisted logic. The most infuriating part, well, one of them, is he didn't even shoot his shot. He literally never asked her out or professed any sort of romantic interest in her. Like, not only does he think being friends means she has to give him a chance, but also thinks she's just gonna magically realize his feelings and agree to date him without having to say anything. Like, sorry dude, that's not how it works. People aren't mind readers. You either ask her and respect her answer, or you don't. You don't get to stew in your resentment because you wanted her to magically read your mind. Nothing says boyfriend material like declaring that you don't see women as real people and they have no value to you unless they fuck you. The idea that you owe a friend at least one date is completely mental, considering how crazy some of these guys go after they go on a first date. Discovering your guy friend is not a friend and doesn't even think of you as a person, but is pretending to like you so he can fuck you is a rite of passage almost every girl goes through. The absolute worst relationship situations I've been in was when I was in my early 20s, due to the just give him a chance trope. I would let myself get badgered relentlessly into toxic relationships with incompatible people because they cried about how I should just give them a chance, and got their weird friends involved, so I would eventually feel like I was in the wrong. So glad I grew out of that. Had a buddy like that when I was much younger. He'd fixate on women, but literally never talk to them. We were all at an event where one of the gals in the social group had come with a new boyfriend. He went very noticeably toxic, moping about it. We, spouse and I, finally asked him what was wrong, and he went on a real rant just like this. That he'd put in his time, and she wasn't even that fun, and now she was fucking another dude. I pointed out that you can't call dibs on women because of close proximity. That he'd never once told her how he felt. If he didn't have the balls to ask her, because he didn't want shot down, then he wasn't man enough to even be considered. That hanging on a chick he didn't even like was pretty fucked up just because she was attractive. His fit about her was noticeable, and the social group distanced themselves, because we were more women than men, and word got around. It's not shocking women don't feel comfortable around men who behave that way. It's probably predictable, but we are way older now, and this guy has had a string of divorces, and his opinions and behaviors around women weren't his only toxic man-child traits. Funny enough, this was back before incel was a word or the internet was much of a thing. These guys have always been around. They have always treated women poorly. I do love the fact that these guys predate the internet, but they've still acted exactly the same way. What confuses me are the give him a chance people that inevitably crop up. Brushing aside the fact that no one owes anyone else a date. 1, she wasn't into him. 2, she didn't even know he was interested. And 3, he never asked her out to begin with. Was she supposed to read his mind? Show up after 2 years and drag him caveman style to the nearest Buffalo Wild Wings? Make it make sense. Okay, the story was actually a little shorter than I thought it was, but let's call it a day. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you like the video, please give it a like. If you have something to say about the story, or about men pretending to be friends with you, let me hear it in the comments. I'll be reading them while the video's new. If you're new here, consider subscribing for more of the same. And big thanks to my awesome patrons who support me more directly over on Patreon. It really helps me out. It is a new month, and it's time for me to get back to work. So I'll be back soon with some Reddit posts, hopefully. Also, just a robot randomly put out a second response, so maybe I'll take a look at that and the comments section. I say randomly because the drama was from like 10 months ago. Have a great day, everyone, and make sure to give your guy friends a chance if they put in the work.